In this lesson, we will show all of the options you have when setting up your device for the first time, as well as making sure we get to the home screen so you can actually start using it. This is Nate with Jamf, and welcome to iOS Setup. Let's go ahead and set up our iOS device. For this lesson, we will be focusing on a standard setup, although some of these options can be customized if you are using an MDM software. First, we will swipe up, choose our language, and then our country. Here we will see a Quick Start screen. If we have another iOS device running iOS 11 or later, you can place it near the device we are currently setting up, and it will configure it with settings automatically. We will choose Setup manually for now, and from here we will connect to a Wi-Fi network, which allows us to see if Find My Device is turned on, if the device is an institutionally owned device and part of an automated device enrollment, but most importantly, it allows us to continue through Setup Assistant. Without a network connection, we cannot proceed past this screen. So go ahead and connect it to a Wi-Fi network, and then it will take a few moments to activate our device. Next, we will see the Data and Privacy screen. This icon will appear when an Apple feature is asking you to use your personal information. You can select Learn More if you would like to find out more information. For now, we'll select Continue. Next, you will see Apps and Data. We can restore from an iCloud backup, restore from a Mac or PC, move data from Android, or don't transfer apps and data. For this lesson, we will set it up as a new iPhone by selecting Don't Transfer Apps and Data. From here, we can set up Face ID or Touch ID, depending on your device. This is a feature that runs specifically on certain hardware, so if you have an iPad mini 3 or newer, or an iPhone 5S or newer, you can set that up if you'd like, but for now, we will just set up Face ID later. Here we see the option to create a passcode for our iOS device. This allows us to protect the data that is on our iOS device, as well as an alternative way to get into your device rather than using Face ID. Here we see the Apple ID screen, which allows us to sign in with our Apple ID. This allows us to use iCloud, the App Store, and iMessage. For now, we will just tap Forgot Passcode, or Don't Have an Apple ID, followed by Set Up Later in Settings. Up next is Terms and Conditions. We won't walk through the entire terms and conditions here, but it is highly recommended that your organization have someone read this before you agree to use this platform in your environment. The next screen we will see is Express Settings. With iOS version 11 or newer, it allows you to automatically turn on certain settings and features like Siri, location services, and app analytics. For this lesson, we will actually go ahead and tap Customize Settings at the bottom, and you will see the first thing we can do is keep our iPhone up to date by enabling automatic updates. Following that, we have the option to turn on iMessage and FaceTime using an Apple ID. As we did not set up an Apple ID for this video, we will select Not Now at the bottom. The next screen is the option to enable location services. This can be convenient for features like Find My iPhone and knowing the location of your device. For now, we will tap Enable Location Services. After the Location Services screen, we have the option to set up Siri. Siri allows us to get things done just by asking. This screen will allow us to set up the Hey Siri feature as well. For now, we will just select Set Up Later in Settings. Here we will see the option to set up screen time. This can give us insights into how much we are using our device, as well as set limits for apps we may want to manage. For this video, we will select to Set Up Later in Settings. Our next screen is iPhone Analytics. This allows us to send any diagnostic data that includes location and information, which can be modified in your privacy settings on your iOS device after it's set up. Here we see App Analytics. This allows us to send and share activity and crash data through Apple to developers about their applications. We will go ahead and tap Share with App Developers now, but you can always turn this off in settings later on. Following our two analytics pages, we have the option to turn on True Tone Display, which helps the screen adapt to different lighting conditions to make the screen look better. It can't be turned off in this screen, but you can change it later in settings. Next, we have the option to choose the appearance of our iPhone. Our two options are either light mode or dark mode. Choose whichever you'd prefer and select Continue at the bottom. For this video, I will be selecting dark mode. If you would prefer for everything to be just a bit bigger on your screen and easier to see, you have the option here to select the zoomed display for your iPhone. I will select standard for now because I have perfect vision and nobody watching this video can prove I don't. If you are setting up an iPhone without a home button, we will see a quick tutorial on how to go ahead and get back to the home screen. To do this, simply swipe up from the bottom of your device. In order to switch between recent apps, go ahead and swipe up slightly further from the bottom in order to show all of your recently used apps. In order to quickly access some of your controls, such as toggling Wi-Fi and Bluetooth on and off, swipe down from the upper right corner of your iPhone. Go ahead and swipe up to get started, and now your device is set up and ready to use. It's worth noting again that some of these settings can be modified or skipped if using an MDM software such as Jamf Pro. To find out more about these options, head to docs.jamf.com. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in another video.